Elmet was an independent Brittonic kingdom covering a region of what later became the West Riding of Yorkshire in the early Middle Ages, between about the 5th century and early 7th century. Although its precise borders are unclear, it appears to have been bounded by the River Sheaf in the south and the River Wharfe in the east. It adjoined Deira to the north and Mercia to the south, and its western boundary appears to have been near Craven, which was possibly a minor British kingdom. As such, it was well to the east of other territories of the Britons in Wales and the West Country, and to the south of those in the Hen Ogledd or Old North. As one of the southeasternmost Brittonic regions for which there is reasonably substantial evidence, it is notable for having survived relatively late in the period of Anglo-Saxon conquest. Elmet was invaded and conquered by Northumbria in the autumn of 616 or 626. The kingdom is chiefly attested in topographical and archaeological evidence, references in early Welsh poetry, and historical sources such as the Historia Brittonum and B. The name survives throughout the area in place names such as Barwick in Elmet and Sherborne in Elmet. A local parliamentary constituency is also called Elmet and Rothwell. History. Elmet was one of a number of sub-Roman Brittonic realms in the Hen Ogledd, what is now northern England and southern Scotland, during the early Middle Ages. Other kingdoms included Reged, Strathclyde, and Gododin. It is unclear how Elmet came to be established, though it has been suggested that it may have been created from a larger kingdom ruled by the semi-legendary Carl Hen. The historian Alex Wolff suggests that the region of Elmet had a distinct tribal identity in pre-Roman times and that this re-emerged after Roman rule collapsed. The existence of Elmet is attested in the Historia Brittonum, which says that King Edwin of Northumbria occupied Elmet and expelled Certic, king of that country. Bede's Historia Ecclesiastica Gentis Anglorum says that Hierarch, the father of St. Hilda of Whitby, was killed at the court of King Certic. It is generally presumed that Certic were the same person, known in Welsh sources as Ceredig ap Gwalog. However, Bede does not speak of Elmet as the name of a kingdom but rather as that of a forest of Elmet, Silver Elmet. He mentions that subsequent kings made a house for themselves in the district, which is called Lloydis, and a battle of Winwood. Also in the region of Lloydis, probably the area covered by the present-day city of Leeds. Elmet appears to have had ties with Wales, and early Christian inscription found in Gwynedd reads, Aliotvslmetiacos or Aliotis the Elmetian lies here. A cantref of Dyfed was also named Elfed, the Welsh equivalent of Elmet. A number of ancestors of Ceredig are recorded in Welsh sources. One of Taliesin's poems is for his father Gwalog ap Clunog, who may have ruled Elmet near the end of the 6th century. Towards the end of the 6th century, Elmet came under increasing pressure from the expanding Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of Deira and Mercia. Forces from Elmet joined the ill-fated alliance in 590 against the Angles of Bernicia, who had been making massive inroads further to the north. During this war it is thought Elmet's king Gwalog was killed. The Northern Alliance collapsed after Urian of Reged was murdered and a feud broke out between two of its key members. After the unification of the Anglian kingdom of Northumbria, the Northumbrians invaded and overran Elmet in 617. It is not known definitely what prompted the invasion, but it has been suggested that the casus belli was the death by poisoning of the Northumbrian nobleman Hierarch, who was an exiled member of the Northumbrian royal house residing in Elmet. It may have been that Hierarch had been poisoned by his hosts and Edwin of Northumbria invaded in retaliation, or perhaps Edwin himself had Hierarch poisoned and invaded Elmet to punish Ceredig ap Gwalog for harboring him. After the conquest of Elmet, the realm was incorporated into Northumbria on east.It 627, and the people were known as the Elmet. They are recorded in the late 7th century tribal hidage as the inhabitants of a minor territory of 600 hides. They were the most northerly group recorded in the tribal hidage. The Elmet probably continued to reside in West Yorkshire as a distinct group throughout the Saxon period and may have colluded with Cadwallon ap Cadvan of Gwynedd when he invaded Northumbria and briefly held the area in 633. The life of Cathro of Metz mentions Lloydum Civitatum as the boundary between the Norsemen of Jorvik and the Britons of Strathclyde. If this refers to Leeds, it suggests that some or all of Elmet may have been returned to Brittonic rule for a brief period in the first half of the 10th century before Anglo-Saxon reconquest, but not as an independent state. According to a genetics study published in Nature, the local population of West Yorkshire is genetically distinct from the rest of the population of Yorkshire, and indeed the rest of England, suggesting that families in West Yorkshire who have been in the area for many generations are descendants of the original Elmet, kings of Elmet Masgwigloff, Clynog ap Masgwyd, Arthwy ap Masgwyd, Gwlog ap Clynog, Saratig d. 617. Legacy. The area to the west and called the valley side of Elmet is the subject of a 1979 book combining photography and poetry, Remains of Elmet, by Ted Hughes and Faye Godwin. The book was republished by Faber and Faber in 1994, simply entitled Elmet, with a third of the book being new poems and photographs.